So I'll take you guys through this job here. It's a Nissan Skyline Bonnet and rear boot spoiler. Just a quick one on the boot spoiler, but for the bonnet, I've done a few repairs on it. Primed it, painted the inside. I did that last Friday, today it's Monday. I hang it up from here, prime the outside. Once it was primed, put a few coats of black on the inside, and finish the entire bonnet off with 600 grit. Here I found a small little dent that I'd missed, put some fine filler in there and put a bit of 1K primer over it. So I'll take you guys through the rest of this job. So that's my first coat of clear down. I'm using the Concept MS22 MS Clear Coat. There's a few bits of dust in it after that first coat. I think it's mainly because of the old base coat that I'm using. But you wait until I get another coat of clear over that. You'll probably barely be able to see any of them. I've worked with a few painters over the years, and some of them, that their finished result will look like this. You just dust and crap all through it. And I think the biggest reason behind that is they're not putting enough paint on. You need to flood those bits of dust out. Obviously being careful you don't put too much on and start creating solvent boil and stuff like that, but you wait until this is finished. Just using the SGK for clear coat again. Just goes to show that you don't need to spend $500 to $1,000 on a spray gun that can still get good results. It's not a dedicated clear gun of mine, but I'd just about run one. Knowing how good they are, I'd just about get one for a clear gun, but I don't need one, so I'm not going to get one dedicated for clear. There you go. Those little sort of fry up areas, they've just about gone. I knew they would have, being that it's a dark enough colour. If it had been a silver, you'd probably still see it in the base coat, but another one of those things, over years of experience, you know the way certain colours are going to react after clear. You can actually clear over sanding scratches. If you've got a few fine sanding scratches in the darker colours, you can clear over them and the clear should fill them up, whereas the light metallics won't have that luxury. So there we go, the SGK has come through with the goods again. Got a mad finish. All those little bits of dust are just about filled up. And doing this job here really has just reaffirmed that the SGK, in my honest opinion, is probably, all things considered, the best gun on the market. If I can get a finish like that with any spray gun, I don't care what it's called, what name's on it, how much you pay for it, that's a good gun. Starterjet 5000, Pro Light, you're not going to get much better off the gun finish than that. And I can achieve that with the $200 SGK. Better answer that phone. And here's that spoiler. There's a couple of bits of shit in it, nothing major. I'll be able to polish that out, no dramas. Yeah, there's a few ripples in it. He didn't really want them fixed anyway. And those little bits of shrink back have been sorted out. There we go. If you don't already have one, get one of these SGKs. Definitely gets 2 big thumbs up from the Gunman. All I'm going to do now is just carefully go around and unmask this so that we don't get any clear coming around that edge and bridging up. And then I'm just going to be leaving that overnight. Come in and give it a polish tomorrow, if need be. I might not even worry, to be honest, because the owner didn't seem too fussed with it. If it was my car, there's no way I would be polishing it. Blacks are a definite pain in the ass to polish. I just about live with those 1 or 2 little spots that are there. So, let's see how it looks in the morning. So here we are the next day after this is all dried out. Ended up getting a little bit of slight solvent boil. Not sure how well it's showing up on the camera, but it is there. All I've done is I've got my buff with a bit of compound, and it's actually sorting it right out. No need to sand it or anything. Just a good buff into it is removing it. I'm not going to worry about denibbing it. There's one or two bits in there, but I barely see it worth fixing. It's too clean to even bother about denibbing the whole thing. I'm going to go over it with the Super C, and then I'll be going over it with the final glaze, and then we'll give it a orbital sander with one of these pads on it with a bit of wax, and that should see it done. So this is going to be my second stage with the black pad on the buff, and final stage with that. And we've got some Maguire's Canuba wax here. Good stuff. Make sure you use these microfiber cloths to wipe off. Leave less scratches behind than your standard rags. I'll give you a look at it when it's all done. So I couldn't help myself but to do a couple of denibs. The more I was polishing, the more they sort of stood out. It's only really going to take an extra 5 or 10 minutes. So I just got my orbital sander with a bit of 1500 grit on it. Just buzz those bigger bits of dust back. Thought I'd just make a quick mention to what actually causes that solvent boil. You can sort of see it. These very fine little bubbles right at the top. What's happening is when you put the clear on so heavy, it's skinning over on the top layer, but it's still wet underneath. So those solvents are creating air bubbles as it's drying, and they come to this just under that top layer of clear, which is why you're able to basically pop those bubbles when you buff it, and they'll go away. They don't actually need to be sanded as such to remove them. It's more likely to happen with the medium solids clears, I've found. High solids clears are a bit more forgiving with stuff like that. You can just smash it on and you won't run the risk of getting solvent boil as bad. But it's going to come up fine. So here we go after a polish. This is the colour match here. Pretty happy with that. Go edge to edge there. No blends on his guards. If you wanted to pay the extra, we could blend his guards and have a full 100% colour match there, but I'm pretty happy with that. I'm sure he will be too. The only reason this guy's doing this is because he's got a carbon fibre bonnet on it and got a yellow sticker. Police said you're not allowed to do that, so the car's actually over at my mechanics across the road here, getting a bit of mechanical work done at the same time. So there you go. I'm not going to bother about polishing that wing. If he wants it polished, we can do it when it's on the car, but it's just going to be floating around. Hard to polish when it's off the car. But there you go. There's a few little polishing marks from where the rags scratched it a slight bit, but no doubt we're going to get some fingerprints on it when we put it back on. We'll have another look at it when it's on the car. Might give it another wax later, but at this point I'm happy with where it's at. Got rid of all of that solvent boil. I'm glad I did decide to sand out those little bits of dust. It just brings it up to a top quality standard finish, and you're not cutting corners. You don't really want to start dropping your standards.